Hi, I'm Towin, and today I'll be trying to beat Pokemon Emerald using only All-Road encounters. If you've seen my Shining Professor Oak Challenge series, you'll know that the All-Road doesn't just give you Magikarp as an encounter on that game. There's also Goldeen, Tentacool, and one that I'll leave as a surprise. I know this isn't going to be a hard challenge, but ever since I realized that the All-Road could catch more than one Pokemon, I wanted to give this challenge a try. The rules for the challenge are simple. I can only use Pokemon Encounter using the All-Road for combat. I'll have other Pokemons for HMs, but I won't be allowed to use them for battle. No items during battle, however, held items are okay. And finally, I'll be playing on set mode. With that out of the way, let's start the run! Not using the Universal Pokemon Randomizer since it's not necessary. I still chose Mudkip so that my rival would have Trico, probably the hardest to fight. After getting my starter, I go to the cheating menu to input a code so that stores can sell me the All-Road. That way, I can start the challenge straight away. I get it and go to Route 102 to fish for Goldeen, and then Magikarp. Tentacool is after the first gym and the mysterious encounter is way later. So for now, this is all I have. Right off the bat, I have to grind. Goldeen only has Peck and he doesn't get a water move until level 38, while Magikarp is just Magikarp. I'll probably have to get them to a pretty high level to defeat Roxanne. At least I can ride on Petalburg Forest where there's lots of Pokemon weak to Peck. At level 15, Goldeen learns Horn Attack. It's a 65 base power normal move, so it's a lot stronger than Peck. With this move I tried the Roxanne battle, but it's not happening at this level. I barely deal damage to her Geodude and she still has two other Pokemon in the back, so I have to train more. I try again when Goldeen reaches level 20, but even when I got insane luck with things like missing Rock Tomb many times, wasting potions on the Geodudes, and confusion luck with Supersonic, I couldn't defeat her, so I guess I just have to get Gyarados. Thankfully, it's already pretty high level and he can even beat some wild Pokemon, so it shouldn't take that much time. I evolve Magikarp into Gyarados, and with it comes the move Bite, which in this gen is a move that uses special attack. Perfect for Roxanne's team. When I challenge her again, I lead with Goldeen and manage to defeat one of the Geodudes and get her to waste 2 potions on the second one. When he goes down, I send Gyarados and he easily defeated her remaining team. I was worried about Gyarados flying typing, but even when Nosepass hit a Rock Tomb, it didn't do much. With the first badge acquired, I go immediately to Dewford Town to get my third team member, Tentacool. I also delivered the letter to Steven to get the experience share so that Tentacool can catch up to the others. I fight every trainer inside the gym, not only because of Tentacool, but also because I'm afraid of the electric gym. I think that even if I fight everyone on the way, I still won't be able to defeat him. When I reached Broly, it was an easy fight as expected. Goldeen has super effective Peck and Gyarados resists his moves. The only problem was Makuhita because of his healing items, but he couldn't do that much to me even with a max power reversal. After exiting the gym, I remember to get the Seals card from one of the houses. This item boosts normal type moves, so it's going to be useful for Goldeen and Gyarados. Rival fight. Her Wingull went down to a couple of hits, but because of the confusion, Gyarados is at half HP. For Slugma, Gyarados does a lot of damage to her, but because I realized she has Rock Slide, I decide to switch to Goldeen, and a single Horn Attack knocks her out. Finally is the Ace Grovyle. Peck does half to her, but because of Absorb, she gives healing. In the end, I get her to overgrow range and she defeats Goldeen. I send back Gyarados and one tackle was enough to win. The only thing of note that happened while fighting the remaining trainers is that Goldeen learned Flail, a normal move that gets stronger the weaker he is, and that Gyarados learned Dragon Rage, a move that always deals 40 damage. I also tried to get the TM for Ice Beam from the casino to teach it to Tentacool, but my patience only lasted till half of the necessary coins, so I'll come back for it later. However, even with all of that training, it wasn't enough for Watson. Everyone is around level 24 and his Pokemon are close to that level as well. The problem is that Tentacool has a lacking moveset, Gyarados has a 4 times weakness to Electric, and Goldeen is Goldeen. I barely managed to defeat Voltorb and Electrike, but Manectric is way too strong for me to handle. Oddly enough, Dragon Rage proved to be really helpful for the fight, since 40 damage is still a lot for this point in the game, but it's still not enough to win. I get everyone to level 30, and with this, Tentacool evolves into Tentacruel. I also got in the way Bubble Beam as a water move for him. I try the battle again and Tentacruel proves immediately useful by defeating both Voltorb and Electrike without much trouble. When Manectric comes out, I try for several turns to poison him with Poison Sting. I get it, but at that point he healed with his berry and Tentacruel went down. I send Goldeen to do as much damage as possible and I get him to waste 2 Super Potions with Horn Attack. But he obviously ends up fainting as well. Gyarados is my last Pokemon and with a single Dragon Rage, I defeat him. Watson's final Pokemon is Magneton and with 2 Dragon Rages, I obtain my 3rd badge. After defeating Watson is the Team Magma battle, but it wasn't that much of an issue with Tentacruel's Bubble Beam. The important part here is that after retrieving the Meteorite, I can trade it for the TM for return. It's a very strong normal type move, so I teach it to Gyarados who's still using Tackle. Goldeen has Horn Attack, which is not bad, but if I wait a bit longer, I can also get one return TM for him. On the way to the Fire Gym, Goldeen reaches level 33 and evolves into Seeking. It's still weaker than Gyarados in almost every way, but having more team members is better than having less. I go and fight Flannery, but with Tentacruel's Bubble Beam, it was once again a complete sweep. I had some trouble with Torkoal thanks to an early paralysis, but even if Tentacruel fainted, I had 2 more Pokemon in the back. Next is Norman, and since I don't have a Pokemon that can learn Dig, Protect, or Substitute at this point in the game, I'll have to brute force my way through the fight. For that, I give the Seal Scarf to Gyarados to boost the power of Return. I take care of most of his Pokemon with ease, but both Vigoroth and Linoone got to the red with 1 return. This meant that they could land a hit on me, getting me to the yellow, but it also means that I got to waste all of his Hyper Potions, so I think it was overall a win on my side. When Slaking comes out, I make the mistake of going for return, forgetting that he has counter, so Gyarados went down. I sent Tentacruel and tried for Supersonic, but I failed twice and get hit by Facade, which gets me to half. On the 3rd try it lands, and thanks to a great Bubble Beam and he hitting himself, he gets low enough so that 2 more attacks defeat him. This victory gets me many rewards. First is the HM for Surf that I obviously teach to everyone. Second is that I finally have enough money so that I can buy the TM for Ice Beam, which I teach to Tentacruel. Third is access to Citrus Berries, which should provide some recovery during fights. Fourth is Castform from the Weather Institute. He's not really that important, but he's holding the Mystic Water, which boosts water type moves. And last is my final encounter of the run. You see, on Route 119 there are many water tiles, and only on 6 of them there's a chance of getting Feebas, a Pokemon that can be caught using the Old Rod. Now, this process is really annoying. There's no way of knowing which tiles are the correct ones without trying one by one. So you just have to hope to get lucky and that you didn't miss it, since it's a 50% encounter and not a guaranteed one. After a while, I finally get the stupid fish, but I won't be able to evolve it until after the next gym, so it's useless for now. As for the Flying Gym, thanks to teaching Tentacruel Ice Beam, it was an easy fight. The only issue was Pelipper, who got annoying with Confusion, Protect, and healing items. This made Tentacruel faint, but then Seeking came out and easily KO'd her. Time for another scavenger hunt. I backtrack to Dewford Town and get the TM for Sludge Bomb to teach it to Tentacruel, get the TM Ice Beam for Feebas on the abandoned ship, get some Kelpsy Berries to evolve Feebas, get the TM for Giga Drain to teach it to Tentacruel, and finally get the Pokéblock case to also evolve Feebas. I ended up needing more berries, so I planted a few of them back and then collected them when they grew. And after making some Pokéblocks to raise Feebas' beauty, I can evolve her into my Milotic. I also obviously teach her Surf. Next is a Team Aqua Attack, Team Magma base, and the Team Aqua base, but they were no issue. Moving on. I also get the second TM for return for Seeking on Pacific Lockdown. Like I said, he's still weaker than Gyarados, but it helps a bit. Psychic Gym. Usually this is a tough fight on solo runs, but with 4 team members, it's more manageable. I start with Tentacruel and Gyarados. Ice Beam almost outgoes Satu as he confuses Tentacruel. Surf from Gyarados does less than I expected, and Earthquake does half to Tentacruel. Satu heals and I do a bit more chip damage with Surf, but Tentacruel goes down thanks to hitting himself and another Earthquake, so I send Milotic. A crit Psychic from Satu does massive damage to Gyarados, as Surf from him does more chip damage. Earthquake does a bit and I set up the rain. Gyarados goes down to another Psychic and I send Seeking, who takes a hit from Claydol. Surf from Milotic does a lot and ends up taking down Claydol, so Solrock comes out. Seeking outspeeds thanks to his ability Swift Swim and uses Surf for great damage. Satu attacks Milotic with Psychic, but she counters with Surf, KOing both Satu and Solrock. Lunatone is last, but it can deal with a double Surf. The Team Magma battle was no problem, but on the way to fight Archie, I got a TM for Earthquake. This is the last TM I need to acquire, and I teach it to Gyarados to take advantage of his incredible attack stats. The Archie fight was easy, by the way, in case you were curious. Before the final gym battle, I got Seeking close to minimum HP so that he can get a 200 base power flail and gave him the Seal Scarf. One fight. I lead with Milotic against Loftisk and struggled for a bit with Confusion, but end up winning. Whiscash comes out and I start tremendously by hitting myself and him setting up an Amnesia. I use Recover to get some HP back, but Earthquake is doing too much damage. I luckily grip with Ice Beam the next turn and Earthquake doesn't KO me, so I take the chance to set up the raid while she goes down. I send Seeking, and thanks to his ability, he should outspeed everything, so I KO Whiscash with Flail, and next is Celio. I hit Flail again, and surprisingly, a max power Seal Scarf boosted Flail wasn't an OHKO, so Seeking obviously went down. Gyarados is sent and takes care of Celio with a return, but next is Kingdra, and I remember that it also had Swift Swim, so my plan is backfiring on me. We go back and forth for a while with Return and Ice Beam, but between Double Team and him healing, Gyarados faints. I sent Tentacruel already accepting my defeat, but miraculously he pulls through and hits a crit Sludge Bomb to defeat Kingdra. Last is Groudon, but he's an easy KO with Giga Drain. Last important fight before the Elite Four is Wally. I send Milotic against Altaria and get hit by Aerial Ace while setting up the rain. He sets up a Dragon Dance and I go for an Ice Beam that gets him to a Sliver. He heals and I hit again, freezing him on the process, so he gets knocked out with another attack. Next is Magneton and Surf barely misses on the OHKO as he confuses me. I hit myself and Thunderbolt gets me to a Sliver. What is with this not KOing thing? I snap out of confusion and KO the Magneton. The rain stops as Roselia comes out and I take the chance to set it up again while Milotic gets knocked out. I send Tentacruel and 2 Ice Beams KO her, but I take a lot of damage from Giga Drain. Afterwards is the Gardevoir and Surf does half as she sets up a future sight, so I just KO him. Last is Elcari. Sludge Bomb does close to half and she uses Assist, a move that randomly picks a move from her teammates and she somehow gets Psychic. Not only that, but the future sight lands, getting Tentacruel on the red. I luckily KO her the next turn with Surf, but that really surprised me. Now, I may have beaten Wally easily, but there's no way I can win against a league at this level, especially since I have the suspicion that most of them are going to have more speed than any of my team members. So I'll get everyone to level 50 and give it a try. The final team is Milotic with Rain Dance, Recover, Ice Beam, and Surf, Tentacruel with Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Surf, and Ice Beam, Seeking with Peck, Flail, Return, and Surf, and finally Gyarados with Return, Surf, the newly acquired Dragon Dance, and Earthquake. Let's see if I can win! First is the Dark Trainer Sydney. I send Milotic against Mightyena and I set up the rain while he uses Sand Attack. I keep missing and he keeps using Sand Attack, so I decided to switch to Tentacruel, who thanks to her ability can get her stats lowered, so a single rain boosted Surf KOs him. Next is Shiftry and Sludge Bomb isn't enough for an OHKO. He sets up a double team, but I hit twice while he heals for the knockout. Cacturne comes out, and this time Sludge Bomb is a OHKO. Groudon is next, and he's a 2-shot with Giga Drain, so last is Absol, but he's also a 2-shot with Surf. Second is the Ghost Trainer Phoebe. I send Milotic first against Dusclops, and since I know he likes to go for Protect at the start, I set up the rain. Surf next turn isn't a 1-shot, but he KOs himself with Curse. This, however, puts Milotic on a timer. So I just brute force all of her Pokemon with Rain and Mystic Water boosted Surfs until I faint. I level up in between, so I managed to get to her last Dusclops and set up the rain for the next Pokemon while she gets defeated by an Ice Beam. Tentacruel comes out and Surf does half while she heals with her berry and also does half with Earthquake. Because of the berry, I'm unable to KO her, so she defeats Tentacruel. I send Gyarados and while she heals, I set up a Dragon Dance. Earthquake does half and Rock Slide does almost nothing, so after another attack, she gets knocked out. Third is the Ice Trainer Glacia. I lead with Gyarados this time as she leads with Celio. I set up 2 Dragon Dances while she sets up the Hail and does some cheap damage with Body Slam. After that, I just sweep through her entire team except for Walrein, who takes 2/3 of damage from Earthquake and does decent damage with Ice Beam. But even when she healed with her Citrus Berry, she also got KO'd. Last of the Elite Four is a Dragon Trainer Drake. I lead with Tentacruel against Shelgon and I miss my Ice Beam thanks to him using Protect. Next turn, I try again and he leaves with a Sliver but misses Rock Tomb. So the turn after he heals and gets KO'd by another Ice Beam. Next is Flygon, but he's 4 times weak to ice, so he went down easily. Altaria comes out and he's more bulky, so he survives on the red while setting up a Dragon Dance. Surprisingly, he doesn't heal and goes for Double Edge, doing almost half and KOing himself. Kingdra is after and I try for Giga Drain, but it does way less than what I expected. And to make it worse, he uses Dragon Dance. He attacks with Body Slam and this time I go for Sludge Bomb, but it's also not doing much, so Tentacruel goes down. I send Seeking and Body Slam does close to half while Return does a third. Another Body Slam paralyzes me, but Seeking ignores it and is able to KO the Kingdra. Last is CA Salamence and Seeking obviously goes down. So I send my Milotic and after tanking a Dragon Claw I can get an OHKO with Ice Beam. Finally is the champion Wallace. I start with Seeking against Wailord and I use Return for not that much damage, as he counters with Double Edge doing close to half. My next Return gets him close to a third and he sets up the rain, so after another Return and more recoil from Double Edge, he goes down. Next is Ludicolo, but he outspeeds since we both have Swift Swim and he takes Seeking down. I send Tentacruel and he uses Double Team, but Sludge Bomb hits and does half. Next turn, he switches to Whiscash, which caught me by surprise and resists a Sludge Bomb, but he also gets poisoned. Seeing that, I decide to switch back and forth between Gyarados and Tentacruel to get more poison damage and make Giga Drain a one-shot. However, at one point he uses Amnesia, raising his special defense. So I decide to just KO him with Gyarados. Wallace's Tentacruel comes out and gets Gyarados to half with Sludge Bomb, but goes down to a single Earthquake. He sends Milotic after that, and this is where it all started to go downhill. The combination of Toxic and Recover overpowers and defeats Gyarados, so I send Tentacruel who can't get poisoned. However, this battle goes on for ages. Neither of us can deal that much damage, but he has Recover. So after 5 minutes of fighting and only managing to poison him, Tentacruel goes down. I only have my Milotic left, but he switches to Ludicolo and after landing a Leech Seed, I knew I was fighting a losing battle. That whole Milotic fight was just evil. Those 5 minutes I spent fighting him are 5 minutes I'm never getting back. But if he wants to be evil, I'll show him evil. Next try, I use Seeking again and feint with Wailord on the red. I send Gyarados and this is where it starts. I start setting up Dragon Dances until I reach +5 attack and +5 speed. I could have gone for one more, but I risked getting KO'd by Blizzard. With this, I was able to OHKO the Wailord, the Tentacruel, the Milotic, the Ludicolo, and the Whiscash. As for his Gyarados, thanks to Intimidate he was able to survive a +4 return, but he just kept healing, so eventually he also went down. Well, that was anticlimactic. I know that just using Dragon Dance is a bit cheesy, but I really didn't want to grind more. And I was honestly pretty pissed about the previous attempt. The challenge is not over though. I may have become the champion, but there's still a secret boss, Steven. Now, his team is on the high 70s while my team is on the low 50s. So I'm just going to get some rare candies and skip the whole training process. I get all of them to level 65 and try the fight. Now, I tried only twice, but after seeing so many Omnibus that make me wonder if it's really 10%, I knew I had to get everyone to level 75. I do that and try again. I send my Milotic against Skarmory and set up the rain while he misses a Toxic. A boosted Surf with Mystic Water still isn't able to get an OHKO and my Milotic gets poisoned. He heals, but it looks like Surf was arranged since my next attack defeated him. Next is Aggron and he has Thunder, so I don't risk it and go for a one-shot with Surf. Gradually comes out and my Milotic has taken way too much damage from poison, so I switch to Tentacruel to have a better matchup while he uses Ingrain for passive healing. I use an Evermelt Dice boosted Ice Beam and it looks like it does half as he confuses me with Confuse Ray. I still hit next turn, but thanks to Ingrain he survives, so he's able to hit an Ancient Power. He heals the next turn and I hit myself. I hit myself again and a crit Ancient Power gets Tentacruel on the red. I snap out of confusion and hit Ice Beam, but it was too late as Tentacruel ends up fainting. I send Gyarados and Soft Sand boosted Earthquake gets him back on the red while Ancient Power does a quarter, so another attack KOs him. Claydol is next and I switch to Seeking. While I did that, he used Reflect, so now my physical attacks do less damage. I use Surf and it surprisingly does half while he sets up a light screen to weaken my special moves. I use Steel Scarf booster Return and it looks like it does a quarter as he hits a massive crit Earthquake. I'm not sure what to use, so I just go for Surf and it gets him on a Sliver as his Earthquake does the same. He heals and I use Surf again to do a bit. The Reflect wears off, so I go for 150 base power Flail to take a big chunk of HP before going down. I send Gyarados to knock him out, and on the way, Lightstream wears off, so next is Armaldo. Surf does half, but Ancient Power hits for a ton of damage. Gyarados lives however, so another Surf defeats him. Last is the Ace Metagross. I use Earthquake and it gets him below half, but Gyarados' health is too low to survive a hit. So I send my last Pokemon, the Poison Milotic, as he eats his berry. I need to set up the rain if I want to defeat him. So I do it, and thanks to my Lotus ability that puts her defense while in a status condition, I survive an Earthquake that probably would have taken me out. So with a final Surf, I can defeat Metagross, finishing the run. Well, that was something. I didn't expect the end of the run to be so hard. I had predicted that the start would be difficult, but Wallace and Steven were more annoying than I expected. I know that I could have beaten them using other strategies, like Toxic on Milotic, getting the leftovers from the postgame, or things like that, but I was so frustrated with Wallace's Milotic and Steven's Omnibus moves that I just wanted to get over with it. There's other Pokemon games that have more than just Magikarp to catch with the Old Rod, so in the future I might do another challenge like this one. If that interests you, then maybe consider subscribing, but for next time I'll go back to Gen 5. As I'll try to beat Pokemon White 2 challenge mode with only Teddiursa. I have lots of expectations for this one, as it has good stab moves, good coverage in the elemental punches, a good ability, pretty good attack, and even boosting moves that increase it even more. I'm only worried about his speed, but that's something to worry about later. If you want to see more of my content, you can check my Shiny Professor Oak challenge playlist, that's on screen. Or, if you want to see something more like what you just watched, you can check the Challenge Runs playlist, that's also on screen. Anyways, that's all I have for now. See ya!